Hola, hola. My name is Ramon, cosmetic formulator, esthetician, avid sunscreen user. And here we are, the year of 2021, looking at a year in skincare, a year in review at what my favorite standout skincare products of 2021 were. The last video talking about my favorite sunscreens of the year, but specifically the mineral-based sunscreens. So this is my favorite brown skin friendly mineral sunscreens of 2021. There's a few caveats to this video. Before I get into that, make sure if you haven't already, check out my other favorites of the year if you're looking to figure out what some bomb products to try out are. And also do note, down below in the description box, I will feature the links for each respective sunscreen if you want a more in-depth review for each one. The caveat for this video is these are primarily all mineral-based sunscreens. Some of them are combination. And if these really stood out to me as like bomb sunscreens, they were going to be featured in my favorite sunscreens of 2021 video. Being mineral sunscreens, and I'll get into it for each individual one. Not all of these are going to look great on every single skin tone. Some of these are tinted and don't look great on fair skin tones. Some of these don't work on deeper skin tones, and I'll be very upfront and very transparent about which ones those are and why. But while I do say that these are brown skin friendly, the degree of the brownness that they'll work for is going to vary. But again, I'll specify and I'll have links for each respective video in the description box if you want specific application footage or other reviews with deeper skin creators, for example. So you'll have that as a reference. So getting into it, I'm going to first start out with the combination sunscreens. These are the ones that feature both mineral and chemical filters. At any point you feature mineral filters, you're going to have potential likelihood for a white cast, or it's going to look weird in the beard. You might have some technical issues. What I will say is that neither one of these have white cast and work amazingly on deep skin tones. Started with the first one. This is from Jack Black. I did feature this in my favorite sunscreen of 2021 video. I felt it needed to be on this list as well. This is a combination sunscreen. It is SPF 45. It is water resistant. This I think is a very universal option. It's a moisturizing texture, but it doesn't leave a radiant finish. It's not matte either. To me, it leaves a very like natural in the middle finish. I just think the fact that it works on every skin type, every skin tone, great option. That's why it was actually on my favorites list. You see a lot of product in this, so it's a fairly good deal. It's also a men's line. So as I mentioned in that video, if you have a man in your life, you're trying to get him to wear sunscreen, this will be the one that hopefully gets him to do it. For sure, brown skin friendly on everyone. It was a favorite of 2021. On a similar note, this is from a Korean brand. So we have a Korean combination sunscreen from PURITO. This is the daily go-to sunscreen, SPF 50+, PA4+, verified, confirmed. The reason this one wasn't on the favorites, but this is definitely brown skin friendly, and I do really enjoy this, was just because this is radiant. This leaves you looking very glowy, very dewy, but it's not greasy. And so that was definitely a plus for me. The texture of it was super lightweight, super elegant, really beautiful gel texture, but it was very radiant. And so that was definitely worth noting. This does have titanium dioxide in it, so that was my concern. It has a mineral filter. How's it gonna look? Works beautifully on deep skin tones, doesn't cling to hair or whatnot. It's just, you will look very dewy. So I recommend this more for normal to dry skin, because on oily skin, unless you're gonna blot or wear powder with it, might not be the best option. Next, getting on to mineral sunscreens, pure mineral sunscreens that I know for sure work really well on darker and deeper skin tones. The one to do it, and the one that just wowed me, this is actually, I think, the first sunscreen video of 2021 from COTZ, the Flawless Complexion. This features only zinc and titanium dioxide. That's what COTZ stands for, contains only titanium and zinc. SPF 50 works on very deep skin tones. It blends in beautifully. I don't know what the technology is around it. I need to know. I know individuals that were in the Fenty Beauty Pepper 450s Plus, for example, that some of them said it worked great for them. Some of them said that it didn't. So it can vary by user experience when you get up into that range of skin tones, but it can work for individuals that are that deep. Caveat with this one is that it is very radiant as well. This is glowy, it can verge on being greasy. So this is great for dry skin. If you have oily skin, this might not be the best option. You're gonna have to powder and wear a good amount of mattifying product with this. Another one, and this is more of an everyday wear, and this is definitely going to work for a wider range of skin tones, not just dry skin. From SUNTIQUE, this is a Korean skincare brand. This is their I'm Safe for Sensitive Skin. This contains titanium and zinc. This is also only SPF 35, PA3+. That's why I say it's a good everyday option. Good like daily wear, going to work, going to school situation. It's not like heavy duty, high octane, like ultra max wear. What I really love about this is that it's a very lightweight gel texture. So it melts into the skin, beautifully elegant. It's not greasy. It's not too moisturizing, super lightweight. I'll actually just do a little swatchy swatch. Just melts in right away. If you didn't tell me this was a mineral sunscreen, I wouldn't know this was a mineral sunscreen, but it melts in right away. Looks really beautiful. I actually got into this because Tiara Willis, AKA Makeup Woman of Color on Twitter, talked about this, although she talked about the original version, which was beautiful. The brand revamped and relaunched with this version. Can't really tell them apart. part. They look the same, feel the same. But it should work on a very wide range of skin tones, hopefully, just because I don't notice a lot of discrepancies in the formulas and textures and whatnot. That being said, I haven't seen a deeper skin tone use the new formulation, so I'm just basing that opinion off of the last one. But definitely, again, a good everyday version, and also is good for everyone because it's not going to be wet, greasy, radiant on oily skin. So a good everyday option for everyone. Also worth mentioning from Dr. V, this is her InZincable. And this was an interesting one because honestly, this hit a lot of the marks that I did want from a mineral only sunscreen. In terms of white cast, great option. She used nanoparticles. It's a vehicle that actually works on a really wide range of skin tones. It was just a very greasy option. That's like, that is a trend apparently. It's like, if you wanted to work for deeper skin tone and have no white cast, it needs to be greasy. And that was the thing. And there's also a lot of marketing. If you go back to the original video where I did the review for this, people tore me up because I was critical of primarily the marketing. There was a lot of marketing behind it that I was like, made no sense. I also was very objective in my review though. I was like, this doesn't leave a white cast. It's a great option. Love the approach she made. It's just greasy. And I gave it like a C because it just didn't work for me and my skin type. Although I know dry skin people who are like, no, it's greasy. But this doesn't leave a white cast. It is brown skin friendly. I think it's a decent option if you have dry skin, but it's too emollient. It's heavy on the skin. It is shiny. I just didn't like the wear and feel of it. Also, it's really inaccessible just because shipping to the US is not cheap. And here in the UK, it's not cheap either. So it's not affordable either. Next, the ones that I'm not 100% sure. This next one is actually arguably my favorite mineral sunscreen of the year, period, for me personally. This is from Round Lab, another Korean brand. This is their Derma Relief 365 SPF 50+, PA 4+. Round Lab has great sunscreens. Their Round Lab Birch is an amazing chemical sunscreen that I love the texture. It's super lightweight, nice lightweight gel texture. So I saw they had a mineral option and I was intrigued. I was interested. Overall, the experience of this was very positive. And for me, I'm always just reluctant when it works well for me, and I can't guarantee that for everyone. It's a mineral sunscreen and it has a gel cream texture. It's nice and lightweight. It's slightly moisturizing, and I have a lot of product on my hand, so it's not going to blend in really, really well, but it worked in really well on me. Set down, didn't collect in my facial hair. It looked beautiful, wore great underneath makeup. I had a really positive experience overall with this, and this is a mineral only sunscreen. I can't vouch on how it's going to look for deeper skin tones though, because I just haven't seen a deeper skin tone creator apply this, try this out, and review this. So that is my main caveat with this. If you want to be brave and bite the bullet, I'm going to empower you to do so. That's why it's starting to get into that caveat list, because I can't guarantee it's going to work for everyone. But this was hands down my favorite mineral only sunscreen of the year. And then next we're getting to the ones that I can confirm are not going to work great for deeper skin tones, but it worked great for me. So if you are in the caramel range of skin tones, so that's, I would argue, anywhere from Fenty 350 up until maybe Fenty 400, these potentially will work really good for you. These are actually all tinted. So actually, if you're too fair, these might not work for you either. So these are definitely a specific range. First off, from Live Tinted, this is the Huegard, and this was bittersweet for me. If you're not aware, Live Tinted is a brand owned by Deepika, who is a South Asian creator, beautifully rich skin tone. And she was like, I wanted to create a mineral tinted sunscreen that would work great for everyone, especially my skin tone. And I was like, great girl, I love that. Let's see what happens. What was really unique about this is that this is a very rich yellow texture. With tinted mineral sunscreens, you don't get that undertone. They're usually like neutral or too pink, and so if you have like a warm skin tone, it just pulls really gray on you. It's weird. So I was like, yellow, that is interesting, that is innovative. And then the texture is such a beautiful lightweight gel, and I was like, oh, that's a game changer right there, because for tinted mineral sunscreens, they're rich, they're grainy, they don't have the most elegant texture. So I was like, 2 checks. Okay, this is gonna be great. And it wore great on me. It was perfect for my skin type, perfect for my skin tone. Makeup wore beautifully on top of it. I could reapply this on top of my makeup, no issue. And then I started seeing deeper skin creators apply it, and I was like, oh, okay, this does not work for deeper skin. My main disappointment around that is, first of all, it's expensive. It's not a cheap sunscreen. So that is actually my main disappointment, but also is the fact that I think they went with like the very clean formulation, clean fear-mongering marketing. If they would have just done like a nano zinc in this, it would have been perfect. It really could have been a game changer, and that is my main qualm with this. It just didn't work for deeper skin tones, and they marketed it to be so, and it just isn't. Like, there's receipts, go check my other video reviewing it. It just doesn't work for deeper skin tones. But if you are caramel, this literally checked every single box for me. This had so much potential, and it just fell very, very, very short. Next, from Bliss, their Block Star, and honestly, pretty much all the same things as the Huegard Tinted Mineral Sunscreen. It has the characteristics of one. It has the richer texture. This is a little bit more of a primary feel, so it has more of a dimethicone like texture and vehicle to it. It has a tint that's very specific to my range of skin tone. It has that like neutral, cool pink undertone I told you about though. And this actually does work nicely into my skin tone, I find. Depending on the lighting or how tan I am, it can cast a little bit. I have this on the list because it worked okay for me. If you're about my skin tone range, it'll be fine for you. Price point, it's Bliss, so it's available at like Target and stuff, so it's a little bit more accessible. That's why I also wanted to feature it, but realistically, this does not work for deeper skin tones. I'll be upfront about that as well. So, and the last option, and this one, it's a lot of caveats. I like this, but I have some qualms about it, but it actually is a great product from COTZ. This is their Face Prime and Protect. This is SPF 40. This is supposed to be a facial primer. Note that first. Second of all, this is only 42 grams of product, 1.5 ounces. This is a tint that works great for my skin tone. Just to show you what that looks like, this one right here, this is the Bliss for reference. It works great. If I wear the adequate amount, it actually does work nice for me. It is mattifying, it is pore diffusing. So I was very happy to see that, and it just worked great for me in that regard. It melted into my skin tone beautifully. I have seen deeper skin creators try this out and it doesn't have the same results in that effect, and that it does kind of have a cast on them to a certain degree, to a certain extent. But do note, the reason why I think this is a good product, and technically I think actually should be a lot higher on my list for this, is the fact that it's a facial primer. I would only see this being very successful pairing it with another sunscreen. So for example, the other COTZ one, the first one I mentioned, that's really radiant, really greasy. The primer on top of this one to mattify it be great. For example, maybe wear like a little bit less of this and then pair it with this so that you get the adequate amount of sunscreen, and you'll have a finish that's good for most skin types and could be great for oily skin. What I loved about this too was that this is the only product I've ever put on my eyelids that has made them matte and crease free all day. And I'm saying that as someone who's tried eye primers that haven't even been able to do that. To me, this was a great product in a lot of different categories, but as a tinted mineral sunscreen, it missed the mark if you're going to use it as an actual sunscreen. But if you use it as a primer, like it's marketed, and use a small amount and more targeted areas over another sunscreen, this could be a home run. Just putting on like the 3-finger method all over your face and whatnot, it's not going to be a good time. And that is my year-end review of brown skin friendly mineral sunscreens. Let me know down below in the comments, have you tried any of these? What your personal experience with these are? And also let me know if you have brown skin. Let me know what shade range you are and what mineral-based sunscreens work really well for you, just because I'm still on the lookout. I definitely have a set of products I'm trying out for the new year, so more mineral sunscreen reviews are on the way. Stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, notification bell to know when those go live. But also do note, I did a version of this video last year. A lot of those sunscreens still do stand, but if maybe I didn't feature your favorite this year, I might have mentioned last year. So check that video out if you want some other brown skin friendly mineral sunscreen options as well. In the meantime though, hit the subscribe button, notification bell so that you know when I post more skincare, sunscreen, and fancy related content on my channel. Give the video a thumbs up, and thanks for watching guys. Bye.